Hello, you guys. Let's talk about Chapter 6. Now, Chapter 6 is a big new chapter. So, before we start Chapter 6, just like I asked you to do in class, please make sure you watch and take notes on the pre-algebra lesson 1.8. Okay, because you have to go back and review graphing points. But I'm doing this movie because I know you've already watched Pre-Algebra Notes 1.8 first. Okay, so let's talk about what does it mean when they say a solution of an equation. Well, a solution is going to look, a solution usually means an answer, okay? But the answer is going to look a little different now. The answer is going to look like this, x comma y. So an x value comma a y value. So a point, like we practiced graphing with Pre-Algebra Notes 1.8. And this point is really special because it's going to make the whole equation true. Okay, let me show you what I mean. Look at example 1. Oh, do you hear our kitty? This is our new kitty. Okay, tell whether 5 comma negative 8 is a solution of 4x minus y equals 12. So the first thing we do is write the equation 4x minus y equals 12 with your pencil, okay? And then the next thing you want to do is plug in the values. So anywhere you see an x, you're going to put a positive 5, and anywhere you see a y, you're going to put a negative 8. So this would be 4 times positive 5 minus negative 8. And then does that equal 12? Well, now we have to do a little bit of order of operations. Remember, we want to multiply before we add or subtract. So 4 times 5 gave me 20, and then minus a negative. Remember, that would make a big giant plus sign. So that's 20 plus 8. Does that equal 12? Well, if I add, that was my kitty. Okay, if I add 20 plus 8, I get 28, and that does not equal 12. So then we would say the ordered pair 5 comma negative 8 is not a solution. Okay, let's try the guided practice, and the little kitten is now playing with my son Gunner in his room, so hopefully she won't come in. All right, so tell whether the ordered pair is a solution of the equation. So they gave us an equation, y equals negative 3x minus 5, and then they give us a point that they want us to try. So remember, the negative 4 is going to go in for the x, and the 7 is going to go in for the y. All right, so I replaced y with a 7. I used my blue to show you. I copied the equal sign. I copied the negative 3. I put in negative 4 for x. And then I copied the minus sign and I copied the 5. And now, with my red, I added a line and changed the sign. Okay? So I just let the 7 come straight down. I let the equal sign come down. You know that negative 3 times negative 4 makes positive 12. I brought the plus sign down, I brought the negative 5 down. And now I just have to add 12 plus negative 5 makes 7. So I have 7 equals 7. And yes, that's a true statement, 7 equals 7. So that means that this point, negative 4 comma 7, is a solution to that equation. Okay, take a look at number 2. I have negative 7y plus x equals negative 7. And the point they want me to try is negative 1 comma negative 14. So negative 1 is going to go in for the x, and negative 14 is going to go in for the y. Now you might want to do this, okay, before you start, copy the negative 7 and then put parentheses and leave a space for the y, copy the plus, put parentheses and leave a space for the x, copy the equal sign, copy the negative 7. And then the next thing you want to do is plug in the numbers. You may find that easier. So I have negative 7 times negative 14 plus negative 1. Does that equal negative 7? Well, negative 7 times negative 14 made positive 98. I brought down the plus, I brought down the negative 1, I brought down the equal sign, I brought down the negative 7. And now just add that. 98 plus negative 1 makes 97. And then bring down the equal sign and bring down the negative 7. Well, you know that 97 does not equal negative 7. So put a slash through the equal sign, and then the answer is no. Negative 1 comma negative 14 is not a solution. Okay, so look at the guided practice with me. The directions are going to say list 4 solutions of the equation. So we have to make up 4 points that are going to work, okay? So that means we're going to make a table. And the way I want you to set this up with your pencil, I want you to put an X and then put the word work. You're going to show your work and then put Y. And I want you to bring these line segments straight down. Now, we always are going to start off by making up values for X, okay? And it's always really easy to substitute a 0 in first. So you'll usually see me put 0 first and then draw a line and then put a positive 1 and draw a line and then put a positive 2 and draw a line and put a negative 1. We're supposed to try zeros, positives, and negatives, and those are kind of the easiest numbers to plug in. All right, and then when you show your work, watch what I did. See that -5? I want you to copy a -5 and then put parentheses and leave a space, and then put copy the plus, copy the 11. So do -5 and then put parentheses, leave a space, plus 11. -5 parentheses plus 11. -5 parentheses plus 11. Okay, now with your red, I want you to plug in these values for X. So plug in a 0, plug in a 1, plug in a 2, and plug in a -1. All right, and now grab your blue pen because we're going to figure out what Y is. So now we just do a little bit of arithmetic. -5 times 0 is 0, and 0 plus 11 makes 11. So put 11 there with your blue pen. Okay, and then -5 times 1 is -5. -5 plus 11 is 6. So write a 6 with your blue pen. And then here, -5 times 2 is -10, and -10 plus 11 is +1. And then -5 times -1 makes 5, and 5 plus 11 is 16. So what we do with this is we put these values, the X value and the Y value, back together to make a point that we're going to graph later, okay? So I have 0, comma 11. And remember, an ordered pair must have parentheses around it. And then the next point would be 1, comma 6, and put it like this, okay, with parentheses around it. The next point would be 2, comma 1, and so write it like this. The last point we made is -1, comma 16, and write it like this. So now you have listed 4 solutions. So our answer are these 4 points that we made.